Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Please kindly repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, loudly. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my very humble obeisance under the lotus feet of Paramanattam Gurudev, Mithila Vishnu Sripad Shuddha Shri Bhakti Narayan Goswami Maharaj, then to Shiksha Guru Vargajan, Nitila Vishnu Sripad Shuddha Shri Bhakti Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada, Nitila Vishnu Sripad Shuddha Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, then to the whole Rupa Anukshi Guru Parampara, Sachinandan Gaurahari, Nityananda Prabhu, Shri Radha Damodar Jeev, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshan Jeev, Shri Nrsingadev, to senior most Vaishnavas here, starting from Balram Prabhu and all senior Vaishnavas, Vaishnavi, present here in Radha Damodar Temple in Auckland, Panmure, my very humble obeisances to you all. Gaur Premanande, Ekadashi Titi ki, Radha Damodar Temple ki, devotees of Radha Damodar Temple ki. So Radha Damodar Temple was missing this for a long time. Nice kirtan and dancing and nice katha and some feast. So today, by the mercy of Shri Gurudev, Gurudev has sent us here, Sundar Gopal Prabhu from, Vrindavan, and myself. And from time to time, Vaishnavas also come, Puja Padmanabha Maharaj and others. So it's the mercy of Shri Gurudev, it's coming. He's sending, various people, devotees, to inspire us. Bhakti, to begin with, may seem very difficult. Listen carefully. Bhakti to begin with, it may seem very difficult. Why? Because bhakti means to love. And you have to love Krishna, but you haven't seen Krishna. So where can you love? Whom you can love? So it may seem very difficult because you have not seen him. You have only heard something about him, but it's very difficult to process because mind is bringing so much nonsense from previous life, this life, many kinds of nonsense coming. So it's very difficult to process all those information to develop a opinion for Krishna, leave alone, developing a loving mood towards him. So it's very difficult because we have not seen him. So then what to do? That's why from time to time, if we have, association of devotees, that can inspire us. That's why devotees, this association is needed repeatedly from time to time, just like you are charging a battery or something. The phone is there. And phone is very, very useful. But if you don't charge, the battery is finished, that very same phone is useless. It's dead. Now you feel your whole life is total waste. You have nothing to do because your phone is dead. So you have to charge the phone like every day. So in a similar fashion, one has to charge oneself every day. But from time to time, we need some supercharging also. Like today, dancing and kirtan and, supercharging means we should be charged in such a way that we forget who we are, where we are, what we are doing. We forget all those things. And we only remember beautiful Krishna, his holy name, and some prasadam and some katha. And nothing else. That's supercharging. You're charged, you are pumped up now. Now, say for example, Krishna, he comes in front of you and he says, you come with me, and you are ready to go with him. Such should be the level of charging. So you need from time to time this kind of charging things. That's why Shri Gurudev is merciful. He's sending his messengers, his near and dear devotees from time to time to waken us up from the slumber and from the monotony that we daily we experience. Even in bhakti, we feel like wake up chanting little bit, and not that not that much enthusiastic. So that's why we need these kind of things. Bhakti is almost like a river. Shri Guru Maharaj used to say, and it's been told in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Lord Shri Kapil Dev has said, Bhakti should be like a river, constantly flowing. But where? A river is flowing, but what is the goal of that river? It's flowing so that it can go and join the ocean. Okay? So in a similar fashion, bhakti has to be constantly flowing. When it stops, stagnates, then that same water, after some time it rots, smell comes, then all kinds of bacteria starts to form in there. So we have to be very cautious. Bhakti has to flow. Lord Kapil Dev has said in 3rd canto, Yata Gangam Basam. It has to flow like a constant, like a Ganges river. The moment she leaves Gangotri, Himalayas, she's constantly coming down and then running towards the ocean. In a similar fashion, all our senses, mind, our mood, our feeling, everything should become a one-pointed source of like a river, and it should flow constantly towards Shri Krishna only to please him. That should be the mood. When it stagnates, when you don't feel enthusiastic, then it rots. Then bad moods and feelings and things develop in one's mind, and that turns slowly into seeing some faults, and that faults become big faults. Then slowly we start to discuss those things, and then Vaishnava Parad, we don't even know, in no time it takes such a form that we leave the small thing, then we go to Guru, Vaishnava, Thakurji, and then we only see faults in all kinds of things. But rather, this bhakti has to flow constantly in a very beautiful way. We should try to do what the principles of bhakti are. Principles of bhakti basically, is only 4 things. First thing is to listen about Krishna from a proper source. Source is very much important, from where you are listening. Okay? Say for example, you hear something is happening, stock market crash or some kind of a COVID is coming again, you would ask, where did you hear this? Right? You wouldn't believe somebody saying something. You want to know the source of such an information. In a similar way, one should remember that whatever we are listening about Krishna, that has to come from a proper source. Especially Vedas, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, especially from a sadhu who is practicing Srimad Bhagavatam, not just only a professional speaker making money. who doesn't even know what the Vaishnava philosophy is. So one has to listen constantly about Krishna from a proper source, constantly, daily. And if we can't listen, then at least we should try to read the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the beautiful books, Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam also here. And Chaitanya Charitamrit, which describes the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhagavatam describes the pastime of Sri Krishna and his devotees. Bhagavad Gita tells the teachings of Sri Krishna for the mankind. So we should try to read these books when we can't listen. I mean, nowadays you can listen wherever you are, WhatsApp, Facebook, Spotify, so many different channels, so many different things. Now we have too many choices. We are confused what to listen and what not to listen. And while cooking or while driving, we just play and we think we are listening. Something is going inside, but not fully. Something is going out, something is going inside. We have to be careful in listening and contemplating on what we are listening. Then the second process is to chant or to repeat what we have listened, to glorify whatever we have heard, about Krishna. So we have to glorify Krishna through our mouth, our tongue, then repeat the holy names of Krishna that we have heard from proper source, from Guru, Sadguru, constantly. By constantly repeating or chanting whatever we have heard from the proper source, from Guru and Vaishnavas, then the third process can develop remembrance. Then a remembrance can manifest, a constant remembrance will manifest in our mind regarding Krishna. And the fourth is, when you have done these things, when you are doing these things, at the same time, if you do service, seva, then that same thing turns into a practical experience. It's not just a theoretical, knowledge-based discussion only, but rather you do something to feel something. These four things: Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, and Seva. Just by this process, without even knowing, somehow we will develop a pure, loving, devotional service mood for Krishna without even knowing. Guru Maharaj used to teach us, if you remember, from Srimad Bhagavatam, pastimes of Sri Krishna, there was a beautiful girl born. Her name was Rukmini, in Vidarbha, in the central India, to the king Bhishmak and his wife. The brother of Rukmini was Rukmi. So from childhood, she had the fortune of serving Vaishnavas, devotees of Krishna. So one day, Narad Rishi, he came. So then Bhishmak, father of Rukmini, he greeted him and he did all kinds of, puja to Narad Rishi. Narad Rishi was so much pleased. Then he said, I'm going to stay here for some time. Then he said, okay. The king said, okay, you are welcome, please, kindly. Then the king ordered her, his daughter Rukmini, to serve Narad Rishi from time to time. So Narad Rishi, when he used to be there, the small baby girl Rukmini, she used to come and bow down, and she used to serve Narad Rishi in the smallest possible way, by giving some water, by cleaning the place, by sitting near him and listening to his Katha, something like this. So then Narad Rishi slowly, started to tell Rukmini about a beautiful boy. Oh, there is one beautiful boy in Vrindavan. He's like you, very small, very beautiful, blue colored. His peacock feather wearing, the golden dhoti, pitambar. He's dancing in the forest. Slowly, steadily, daily he started to say such things. And Rukmini would listen very, you know, attentively. And when Narad Rishi would leave, she can't seem to forget what she had heard about Krishna. Then naturally, she would start discussing these things with her friends. Oh, there is beautiful, boy, his name is Krishna. Narad Rishi is always speaking about him. And so like this, she is discussing, and slowly she is growing. Narad Rishi is repeatedly coming. He is speaking about Krishna. She is repeatedly discussing it with her friends. And within no time, somehow she develops a beautiful feeling for Krishna, a love for Shri Krishna, divine transcendental love for Shri Krishna. She has never seen Krishna, but she has developed such a beautiful mood just only by listening from the proper source. Just only by listening. We have to make sure, to become like Rukmini. She listened about Krishna. This is a matter to consider. Please kindly consider this discussion, this point which I'm trying to make. Rukmini, she listened about Krishna only from Narad Rishi. That's why she developed such a pure divine love for Krishna. What if, while taking dinner, she started to discuss about Krishna with Rukmi, her brother? Rukmi, the brother of Rukmini, he never liked Krishna. Rather, his friends were Kamsa, Jarasandha, who were all, against Krishna. They wanted to kill Krishna. What if she started to discuss these things in a very, thinking herself to be progressive, open-minded, and started to discuss these things in the dinner table with her brother, what would have been the result? She would say something about Krishna that she heard from Narad Rishi. Then Rukmi would counter those things. Oh, you don't know about Krishna. I know better about Krishna. He's such a rascal. He's such a characterless person. He's a liar. He's a cheater. Would Rukmini have developed such a beautiful, loving mood for Krishna then? This is a point to consider very deeply. The mistake that we do is this main thing. We put all kinds of contradictory nonsense in our ears. That's why we don't develop a feeling for Krishna even after 30, 40, 50 years of practice. All kinds of contradictory nonsense things in our ears. Rukmini, she was careful. She didn't even discuss these things with anybody. Just only her close friends, that's all, whom she believed or trusted. That's one main point to consider. The feeling for Sri Krishna will not develop by being progressive and putting all kinds of things in one's ears. No, it will not develop. Rather, it will be polluted. Just like a river, when it rains, it becomes muddy. It doesn't become clear. So in a similar way, we have to be very careful what we are putting in our ears. Rukmini was careful. She didn't put all kinds of contradictory things. That's why, without even seeing Krishna, just by fully believing in the words of Narad Rishi, she developed such a beautiful mood for Shri Krishna, feeling for Shri Krishna, which is very, very rare in this material world. That's why when her time came for her to marry, And Rukmi was against Krishna. By then she was mature, that nobody could sway her, moods and feelings. Now she is mature enough, you know. So still she didn't, discuss these things with Rukmi, because she knows he doesn't like Krishna. Then there is no point in discussing with him. But rather, she wrote a beautiful letter crying for the service of Shri Krishna and sent it through a messenger. He went to Dwaraka, and that when that messenger, he gave that message letter to Shri Krishna, Krishna didn't even have to read that letter. Just by looking and touching that letter, before, letter was physical. I mean, even before 30 years before, things were physical. We used to send postcards and letters and all those stuff. Now it's all touchless, feelingless, digital stuff. So WhatsApp and emails and all those stuff. But before it was all physical. You could feel it. You could touch it. So Krishna didn't even have to read. He just touched it and saw the letter. The state of the letter. It was all wet, and the letters were all spread out. So Krishna, immediately he could feel somebody who is loving has sent this letter. And when he read that deeply, he was touched by what Rukmini has said. Such a moving words in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Rukmini said, she never saw Krishna. Still, she developed such a strong one-pointed surrender to Shri Krishna, feeling for Krishna. She said, "Oh Krishna, since the day Narad Rishi came and glorified you, since that day, from my heart, I have taken you to be my beloved husband. I cannot marry anybody else. If in this lifetime you are willing to take me as your wife, so it's well and good. But if you don't, then I will take poison and give up my life. And again in the next lifetime I will try to get your mercy. If I still don't get mercy in the second lifetime, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth, even if it will take 100 lifetimes, I will not choose anybody other than you." Krishna was simply touched for such a strong, surrender and such a loving mood for him. Just by those words, though he had no plans to marry, leave alone going to the central part of India to rescue Rukmini. He had no such plans. But just by such a words which is full of tears running and the letters all scribbled, so Krishna was completely touched, was completely moved by those words. So then, immediately he went, without even telling his brother Baldev, because he couldn't wait. Then when Baldev Prabhu knew, he also went with his, army. But then first Shri Krishna, he went to Vidarbha, the kingdom of Rukmini, father. Krishna went there running to rescue Rukmini. So when that messenger came back, so then Rukmini, she asked the messenger, "Did you give the letter to Krishna? What did he say?" But within her heart, she knew that it was positive. But still she was, fearing. So then that messenger said, things seemed positive. But Krishna didn't say a thing that he would come or he wouldn't come. That was like a surprise, or Krishna was taking time to make his decision, you know. So Rukmini, she believed that the words that she sent will definitely bring Krishna to her. That's why on the day of wedding, when Rukmini, she went with her friends to the temple, she was surrounded by big military group of people sent by her brother that nobody should come and kidnap her or something. But then when she finished the puja of Sri Durga, and when she came out, there were so many people, military people and all those stuff. Krishna out of nowhere, nobody could sense. He just came. And Shukadeva Goswami Pad, there he says, just like a kite, from nowhere it just comes and zooms in and takes, a rat and then flies away. So in a similar way, Krishna out of nowhere, he just comes in, zooms in on Rukmini just like that. He pulls her and then he, makes her sit in the chariot and makes Rukmini to, ride the chariot, and Krishna sits behind to fend off all these people, Rukmini, Shishupal and others. And within no time they were running. So such is the power of listening. Who said by listening one cannot develop a feeling for Krishna? Rukmini is the solid example for this, which Shri Guru Maharaj used to teach us. By Diksha, by the process of Diksha, Guru, connects you with Krishna. He engages you with Krishna. But we have to listen constantly to make it fructify, to make it develop, And we have to listen properly from the proper source, constantly. And we shouldn't contradict with many different things. Because the moment we develop a doubt within our mind, then all kinds of efforts that we put will become useless. Sanshayatma vinashyati, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. The moment you doubt, that same moment you will be, you will be lost. Even in the material world, it's the same thing. Just for an example, when you have, say for example, just an example, say for example, you retired and you have $1 million with you. You don't know what to do with it. And then you have your fine friends and your family, and nowadays you have your phone and WhatsApp and Reels and all those stuff. And you hear million suggestions. You do this, you do that, this is good, this is best, you invest there, you make this, make that. Finally, what would you do? I guess you would only be confused and nothing else. You don't know what to do. You cannot take a good decision. And when you take a decision and then something good comes up, you feel like, oh, I made a mistake. Why did I do that? Why did I listen to this person? Why did I listen to him? So even in the material world, the same thing. So you want to listen to only those, persons who are in the proper source, not just, scamsters, So in a similar way, regarding Krishna also, one has to be very careful what you are listening, from whom you are listening, where you are listening. That's why the position of Srimad Bhagavatam is so much superior. Why? Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost of the revealed knowledge. Why is that? Because in Srimad Bhagavatam it's been declared no more deceit or no more distraction, no more multiple counter statements. There is only one statement from beginning to end, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only by bhakti will Krishna be pleased, And only by love, divine love, one can reach his lotus feet. There is no second statement in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is the complete essence of the revealed knowledge Vedas. There is no contradiction. One who listens to Srimad Bhagavatam, discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam, will definitely develop a loving mood for Sri Krishna. There is no doubt about it. And one will believe, by listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, one will definitely start to believe that from Krishna, everything has manifested. All the demigods, they are most worshipable. They are all venered and revered. But they all try to serve Krishna, please him. It's been described in Vedas also, Narayana Upanishad and others. Out of fear, yes, fear, sun every day maintains his time punctually. The moon also, out of fear, it maintains. The seasons, okay, in New Zealand you have 4 seasons in a day, that's a different thing. But the seasons, they're supposed to maintain, their proper time out of fear for Narayan, for Krishna. The whole world is running because of that. Indra, who is the Lord of all demigods. The demigod that we all pray and worship. Indra is the Lord of them all. He himself, when he makes mistake, he is chastised. Indra is chastised. Not one time, many, many times. Devaraj Devendra, when he saw that the Brajavasis, they are not giving him respect, he couldn't tolerate. He didn't realize Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Immediately, he couldn't control his anger and he tried to kill the Brajavasis by raining too much. Then Krishna chastised him. He felt remorseful. But then, again, within no time, he forgot these things. Then when Krishna, he took Satyabhama to the heavenly planets for the beautiful Parijat flower. Then Krishna said, you give me the tree. See, Narad Rishi, he brought this, this beautiful flower from heaven to the Sabha of Shri Krishna, where only the queens were there, Rukmini, Satyabhama and others. And Narad Rishi said, you give this beautiful flower to your, best wife, the one you love the most. So Krishna knew what Narad Rishi wanted. So smilingly, he said, okay, you're testing me. Okay, that's fine. But there's a purpose behind that. So then he knowingly gave that flower to Rukmini. That Satyabhama, she couldn't take it. She did man, sulky mood. She went to her, room and she did man, sulky mood. Then Krishna came to pacify her. How did he pacify her? Krishna is a master of pacifier. He said, I only gave a flower to Rukmini. You are my most near and dear. Satyabhama said, you are a liar. You're lying to me. Yes, you are my near and dear. For her only a flower, a small flower. I love you so much that I will give you the full tree. So like this, Satyabhama was immediately moved by this touching feeling. So she said, where is the tree? So then Krishna knew what Narad Rishi wanted. So he said, Okay, sit in the Garud. We will go heavenly planets, and I will give you the tree there. So he took her, and when he went to the Sabha, so when Krishna said, he gave me the tree, and Indra said, which tree? Then he said, Parijat. Then he said, why should I give? Immediately he forgot. You know? Then Krishna said, do you know who I am? You forgot? Because too much material opulence. So that's why he forgets so soon. Then Krishna had to fight and show him his place. Then he begged forgiveness once more, and then he brought this Parijat tree and Sudharma Sabha and Kundal of the mother Aditi, and these things he had to bring, and on the way they killed Narakasur. The purpose was to kill Narakasur, the son of mother Earth, when Varahadev rescued her from the water. But due to bad association, he turned out to be Narakasur, not a devotee of Krishna. So like this, the demigods, if they don't know their place, Krishna immediately teaches them their place. What is your place? So they all do their work out of fear. That's what the Vedas say. If not, they are removed from their posts. These are all posts. So that's why when one takes the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, then slowly one will realize these facts and give respect to all demigods, thinking that they are all serving my Lord Shri Krishna. Shivji, Parvati, Ganesh, Shani, Durga, and all demigods, they are all serving Shri Krishna beautifully. And this kind of revelation, this kind of realization comes by serving Guru and Vaishnavas and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. But if you confuse with so many different things, then we cannot develop, in million lifetimes also, we will not develop such a beautiful loving service mood for Shri Krishna. It's very rare and very, very difficult. That's why one has to take the shelter of such a pure devotee and beg, the mercy from him, that the same kind of mood that you have for Krishna, please kindly give me such a, the loving service mood too. Though I am not qualified, but still you bless me, that one day I will be qualified to receive that mood that you have within your heart. You're always, doing loving devotional service to Radha and Krishna, like we heard, like many of you missed. Yesterday evening, we were in Bucklands Beach. This kirtan you danced. Yesterday we were dancing on the beach, and many people, local people, boys, they were dancing also. A nice Katha. There was discussing about, Radha Krishna Pranamor, Yugala Kishore, Jivane, Marane Gati, Aranahi More. This kirtan Minatan Das Thakur, we were discussing yesterday, that a devotee who is convinced that Krishna and Radha are my life and soul, they develop a loving service mood for Shri Radha and Krishna, and they don't need big, big things. They rather develop such a pure, loving tendency which they receive from their Guru and Vaishnavas by serving them selflessly. And with those moods, they just try to even make a garland, but with full of feelings, they make and offer it to Radha and Krishna. That's more than sufficient. Krishna says, Bhaktya Mam Prayachati. Out of love, if you give even a small thing, Krishna is happy. So one needs to develop such kind of a mood. But first one has to be, get convinced that Radha and Krishna are my life and soul. All demigods are my Near and dear servants of Shri Krishna. And whenever we go near demigods, we need to pray only one thing. Please kindly, make me meet your Lord. You are servant of Krishna. Please kindly be pleased with me and take me near my Lord. The Lord, your Lord, by your mercy, I can go near your Lord Shri Krishna. That's the only prayer we need to make to the demigods. So, so when we have this one pointed feeling for Radha and Krishna, then one can develop such a loving mood like Rukmini. If not, it's not possible. That's the whole purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is manifested so that one can develop such a loving mood to Shri Krishna, one pointed with no distraction, then one can say Radha Krishna are my life and soul. Not before that. And until they become one's life and soul, one cannot develop such a loving mood for them, constant loving mood for them. It takes time to develop and manifest. So by continuously following, these four things, just like Rukmini, gradually we can develop such beautiful moods. And within no time, we will feel that wherever we are, whichever position we are, and whichever state Krishna keeps us in, we are happy, blissful. Because we have nothing to take and we have nothing to lose. We are surrendered to Krishna. Krishna is keeping us. Whether he wishes to kill us, whether he wishes to make us live, it's all up to him. No botheration, no discouragement, nothing. It's complete bliss. Such a state is desirable, in this world full of suffering and pain and nothing else. So this is the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the purpose of Sri Guru Maharaj. This is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why he came. Just by chanting the holy name, Mahamantra. Please repeat after me. Hare Krishna, loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram, Hare. Just by chanting these holy names, all kinds of perfection can be had. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. That is the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam too. In the beginning, in the ending, and in between, everywhere it's only, this is what is discussed. So, the more we become serious, more we serve, more we listen, more we chant, more we become serious, more we become one-pointed, and a strong mood develops that how can I serve Shri Krishna? How can I reach the lotus feet of Shri Krishna? What can I do to please him? Such a strong feeling develops. This is the mercy of Shri Guru. This is exactly what the mercy means. Okay? Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Hari Hari. Guru Maharaj ki. Maybe we can have a small kirtan. ये है अरे वो वाला